If you've been subscribed to my channel for a while or recognize my thumbnails, you've probably seen this little dude. For anyone wondering, yes, he does have a name. It's Stitch1993. I may get into the history of his name at some later date, but he's technically been around on my channel for a pretty long time. Even during the lull when I wasn't making YouTube videos, I would occasionally draw him. And when I decided to reboot my channel back in 2023, he felt like a good fit for the mascot. Now, a few months back, I did admit that his design and my drawing technique were inspired by Max from the Nick Jr. short series Max and His Alphabet Adventures, which is actually half true. You see, way back in the mid-2000s, my local Dollar General sold PC games, and not just crummy spyware type of discs. Nope, legitimate video games, some of which I've talked about in the past on this channel. Well, one day while sifting through the games, two came across my eyes. The 2001 robot fighting game Robot Arena and the point-and-click adventure game Moop Dreadly. Both enticed me for different reasons, but I only had enough allowance money for one game, and Robot Arena won since, I mean, look at it, you can make your own battle bot and fight other bots. This was at the peak of my robot obsession, of course I was going to pick that one. Through the years though, the Moop Dreadly case art seemed to have been ingrained in my mind. It was something about the simplistic designs of the characters that just spoke to me, and while I do have a pretty good memory, I could not for the life of me remember the name of the game. Until just about a year or two ago, I saw a video where someone owned a copy of another PC game called Olo in the Sunny Valley Fair. The publisher name seemed oddly familiar, Plaid Banana Entertainment. Well, one quick internet search later, and lo and behold, I found the game. Now I just had to play it. Unfortunately, I could not find a single site that provided it digitally. As of the recording of this video in August of 2024, it is not available on Steam nor GOG.com. There is a link on My Abandonware, but it seems the ISO is broken and will not work on current hardware. So in a last-ditch effort, I went to eBay hoping it was not a rare PC game. And thankfully it isn't. So a week and $25 later, I was the proud owner of the big box copy of Moop Dreadly. Tossed the CD into the PC, and what do you know, it installs and works perfectly on Windows 10. Now the jewel case goes for much cheaper, but I prefer the box whenever I can, just as a personal preference. There's nothing extra in it either, it's just the jewel case. Though my copy was still factory sealed and came with this Toys R Us anti-theft sticker that I just had to keep for nostalgia reasons. Now, going in, I knew it was a game most likely aimed at younger kids, with the age rating being 5 and up, and the game itself advertising this was from the creators of Freddy Fish and Backyard Sports. Which, if those games sound familiar, that's because they're from the game company Humongous Entertainment, who's also responsible for such classics as the prior two mentioned, as well as Putt Putt, Spy Fox, and Pajama Sam. But in 2001, the founders of Humongous left and found a new studio called Hullaby Entertainment. Outside of this and Olo, their resume is not as great as the games from their time as Humongous. Their only other standout titles appear to be Sonny's Race for Chocolatey Taste and Piglet's Big Game. It appears their final game was Mahjong Jr., which released back in 2004. So, with that all said, did Moop Dreadly live up to my expectations? Absolutely, actually. We start off with a fantastic animated visuals on par with many other point-and-click children's games of the early 2000s. The plot is pretty simple and straightforward. A young boy named Captain Dreadly, voiced by Kelly Wright, finds a treasure map and drags reluctant Moop, voiced by Dex Manley, along for the adventure. I don't think they ever mention what Moop is. He kind of looks like a bunny, but he could also be a bear. I'm not quite sure. Let me know what animal you think Moop is down in the comments. The game is divided into 6 short episodes, each taking anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes to complete, with the entire game lasting a little over or under an hour depending on how quickly you figure out the puzzles along the way. You can save at any time during the game and go back into it just as easily as any other game at that time. Chapter 1 sees your cell has broken and is in need of repair. This game is one of those lovely point-and-click titles where the creators put in those extra flourishes of clickable objects that will allow short comedic bits of animation to play out. Chapter 1 is the shortest as there's only 3 areas of the ship to explore. First, you grab the fish snack from the main deck, feed them to the seagull to grab the remains of the old sail, go to the captain's quarters to pick up some old laundry, then head down to the basement to sew it all together and create a new sail. Also, this mouse with a ukulele, we'll come back to that later. Between each chapter is a narrator reading as if this is a serial from the 1950s.
Their ship sailing out of control at top speed. It will certainly only be a matter of moments before Moop and Dreadly are smashed to smithereens on a reef or a passing iceberg. But just in case by some miracle they manage to survive, don't miss the next exciting chapter of The Treasure on Bing Bong Island!
Chapter 2 sees you arrive on Bing Bong Island and greeted by the chief, who advises that he has the other half of the map and will give it to you, but only if you complete the tribal test of strength, which is to balance a very large rock on top of a very small rock. In order to do that, you simply help an explorer fix her balloon by using the sail. Don't worry, you don't ever need it again. Then you need a catch-a-fish to get a net around Rock 2 in order to win the other part of the map. Once you do this, then you get the map, which leads you deeper into the island. In Chapter 3, you're momentarily blocked as the bridge is out. You need a rope to fix the bridge. The rope that you had on your ship at the beginning of Chapter 2 is now obtainable, so you can go back and get that, and then swing across. Then you've got 2 directions to go. To your right is the door to the treasure, and it's got a large keyhole, which of course you need a large key to get into. Going left, you come across some pirates who are after the treasure as well, who happen to have the key. There is a sculpture that you'll need a lantern to get. Go back to the main island and speak to the jester, who is now at the empty stage. He'll gladly give you a lantern, which you can use to scare the pirates and grab the key. In Chapter 4, you meet up with Princess Connie, who is also searching for the golden glockenspiel, which is this treasure. A glockenspiel is a type of xylophone, by the way. Dreadly accidentally activates a trap that causes lava to endanger the treasure. You must turn on 2 water valves to get rid of the lava, but each of the valves has its own trap. To deactivate them, you need to go back to the main island and go back to the rocks. 2 rabbits have a jack holding up Rock 2. You can try to steal the jack, but Moop will stop you. Instead, you go back to the chief, and he'll give you rock number 1, and then you can easily exchange the rock for the jack. Then you can use the jack to stop trap 1 and open the valve. Valve 2 can be easily crossed with correctly timed mouse clicks. Then you find out that they're pretty weak, as one will hit Moop, which breaks the whole contraption. After you turn on valve number 2, you will automatically return to the glockenspiel. But just as you're about to get it, Captain Trench, who's the name of the pirate captain, captures you, Moop, and Connie. In Chapter 5, Moop easily breaks free, and you find out that you'll need a crowbar to pry off the patch of the ship, and to do that, you go back to the island. The detour sign for the beginning of Chapter 3 is now gone, so now you can go right and talk to a construction worker who advises he needs a new shovel. You'll also need a record that the jester has. You go back to your ship and grab the ukulele that is now left alone from the mouse, and then in the area of the beach where there once was a baby with a shovel, the baby is now gone, so you can grab the shovel. You can trade the ukulele for the record and the shovel for the crowbar. You distract the guards by using the crowbar on the ship, and then you can sneak onto the ship. Then you can swap the record to put the captain to sleep and grab the glockenspiel. Then a new musical number starts and a chase scene begins.
Connie, Moop, and Dreadly are in quite a pinch together. Unless Moop or Connie saves them now, they're surely doomed forever. Running from the evil Morton Watt and Captain Trench, frightened by their vicious smiles or maybe just their stench. With trees and lakes and trees are on each other's heels, all for one elusive prize, the golden glockenspiel. Sit right there, don't touch that dial, it's come down to the wire. Moop is brave and Connie's quick and Dreadly's getting tired. Captain Trench and Molten Water are quickly gaining ground. They're chasing after treasures that our Princess Connie found. Through the trees with ping pong leaves they run across the land. Will the golden glockenspiel end up in proper hands? So much for Dreadly's perfect plan to pound the pirate problem. Instead they're going to run away, but Trench is out to stop them. By Neptune's spleen it's quite a scene with pirates in pursuit. Who will walk away today with Bing Bong Island's loot? The time is now, the place is here, let's keep that treasure safe. If they could make it home again, oh wouldn't that be great?
Finally, in Chapter 6, you, Moop, and Connie are on one side of the volcano, while Captain Trench and his henchmen are on the other side. You both need to build a contraption to grab the glockenspiel that is right in the middle of the volcano. You'll need to find a net, pulley, and a fishing pole. Now you can go back to the booby trap area and grab the large hand that I broke off in Chapter 4. Then you go back to the pirate ship and grab the pulley that was where the captain had fallen asleep. You can grab the fishing pole from the fishing area as the fishermen won't be there anymore. Then you grab the net from the crow's nest from your ship. You can use the large hand on the boulder, stopping the lava from flowing into the volcano. And then you give each of the 3 pieces back to Connie. Every time you give an item to Connie, the pirates will also obtain the same item. After that, you watch everything play out, and then you have 2 endings based on whether you decide to keep the glockenspiel or give it back to the tribe. I won't spoil you on what happens in both endings. You'll just have to play the game to find out which one is the good ending and which one is the not so good ending. This is a wonderfully simple point-and-click adventure game with loads of charm, and I highly recommend checking it out. I hope one day this game becomes more easily available, but thankfully it's not that hard to come by. Now I want to hear your thoughts. Did you grow up with Moop and Dreadly, or is this your first time hearing about them? Or were you like me and possibly saw the box art long ago but never picked the game up? Either way, I hope you enjoyed this fun adventure, and remember to subscribe for more underrated game videos. And until next time, thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye.
I'll tell you, Moop, the first thing I'm gonna buy is a good meal. I'm really tired of these fish snacks.